playoffs are the regular season on steroids.
To get to a whole nother level.
A different level of focus and preparation.
It's a different game.
In the playoffs, it's all about inches.
Every possession, every play matters. The highest intensity, highest stakes that you can find.
It was like, we finally got here, and let's make some noise.
The whole energy of the whole entire city changed.
You could feel the tension in the building, in the arena, whether you're home, whether you're away.
That crowd is electric.
Fans going crazy.
Crowd going crazy, chanting.
And the Air Canada Center shaking.
Atmosphere was just phenomenal.
That was spine-tingling.
It was a wowing experience.
Vince and Allen were trading blows.
Wow, what could happen next?
It was an unbelievable battle.
More physical, it's tougher.
The Raptors were scratching and clawing.
We just couldn't beat that muscle.
Please give it up for UFC champ, St-Pierre!
Darko reached out to me, and I came about a year ago to talk to the team, and he said the team would like to have another dose of GSP. So I said, of course, I'll come by. Guys, thank you for the warm welcome. Really appreciate it. Well, today I was mostly talking about some of the tricks and principles that I use for performance. The only thing that matters is the objective. How I feel, what people gonna think of me, of what is he gonna do, or am I gonna win or not? Does not exist. Me as an entity, I don't exist. The only thing that exists is the objective. What I need to do in order to win. The objective can change depending of what's the problem in front of you.
The 2000 playoffs. Today, it's the Toronto Raptors versus the New York Knicks. Easter Sunday at Madison Square Garden in New York, viewing the Knicks return to the playoffs against one of the league's rising stars, Vince Carter of the Toronto Raptors, in his first playoff appearance.
The franchise had never been there before. With all the hype behind the young talent, all this, I mean, you get there and it's like, this is opportunity. This is a Knicks team that just gone to the finals, and now we get that chance to play there and see what we had.
Vince was coming into his own. Tracy was coming into his own. Coach Carter had the team pumped up, ready to go. Being in the Garden, that energy, it was electricity in there.
The focus, the energy, the excitement, palpable here at Madison Square Garden.
To be able to make the playoffs, that was the first step to success. And then to run out and watch the fans respond.
That first playoff game, the one thing I'll never forget, when they sing the Canadian national anthem during, the pregame, and then the whole crowd kind of takes over and sing, you can't help but get chills.
You knew you had something special in Toronto.
Christie for three.
It was a wowing experience, I tell you.
As you played an experienced Knicks team with a lot of weapons,
Pulls up. It's good!
I think we were very satisfied getting to the playoffs and forcing them to beat us.
I just remember reading and taking a lot of heat for not being able to get it done. I'm like, man, this is the Knicks here. This is Jeff Van Gundy's Knicks, who made it hell for Michael Jordan. But it was a great experience, and going through that inspired and brought out a hunger for the following year. Obviously reading what's being said, so you hold on to that, and you get back there and you get to play the Knicks again.
They were going to be a year older, and we were going to be a year better.
I felt like we were close to breaking through, and with another year of experience and a few additions here and there.
We had guys on our team who had bad blood. They shared it and they vocalized that. Oak and Chris Childs having those memories of, look, we're gonna do this.
Chris Childs was a big boost for us. He brought toughness, he brought experience. He just brought that to our team. It was so intense. It showed you how you had to prepare for the game. I just remember the Knicks knowing every one of our plays.
Vince was the focal point of that team. Jeff Van Gundy was very specific about how we were going to defend him, how we were going to attack him, and it was all on a piece of paper. It said Carter rules.
And Charles Oakley, he challenged our coaching staff after the first game that we lost, and he said we weren't as prepared. That next day, we were prepared. We were practicing like it was training camp, everything that Knicks would do. Now, we were on an even playing field.
This best of 5 series is now even at 1 apiece. First ever playoff victory for the Toronto Raptors.
You get a lot of veterans who've been on teams who've been deep in the playoff, been to the finals. You know what it takes.
I look back at how hard they played.
The Raptors have won and forced a deciding 5th game at Madison Square Garden in New York Friday night.
And the big plays.
Shouts to my guy, Alvin Williams, hitting that big shot.
I remember Alvin's reaction.
It was a nail in the coffin type of shot.
1 minute remaining on the 4.
I actually lost the ball. And Vince was very alert. He picked it up and then kicked it back to me. It was like 1 second left on the clock, and I had to shoot it on the shot clock.
And now the Raptors using the clock in no hurry. Oh, Williams lost control. Shot clock down to 3. Here's Williams. Oh, enormous field goal for Alvin Williams.
All of that I had to read finally came out there.
The Toronto Raptors celebrate as they have defeated the New York Knicks.
When we left Toronto, I told the guys, bring clothes because we going to Philly.
To go into Madison Square Garden and win the rubber game of a match was just a very special feeling. And particularly I felt for Charles Oakley. I remember walking into the locker room after the game, and Oaks and my eyes met, and we just kind of winked at each other, and he was the most happy guy you could see, and I was so happy for him because he had done so much for our franchise and got rewarded with that win on the Garden floor.
For Toronto to beat the Mecca of basketball in the Garden, that was pretty significant.
To get our first playoff series win for the franchise, unreal.
As a team is being built and there's this momentum, then you hit this milestone and then you hit the next one. In the playoffs, when it happens like that, I don't think you have a chance to kind of really take it all in, but you do take a deep breath like, whew, we got over that hump. Like, wow, what could happen next?
Here in Philadelphia, we're getting ready for the 76ers and the Raptors. It's game 1 of the best of 7, a matchup of Allen Iverson and Vince Carter.
Winning a playoff series, moving on to the next one, you have confidence.
We had the exciting team. We had an up-tempo team with swag and it factor.
Here's Carter with time running down. The key got a piece of it. Oh, Carter able to recover.
We took the game 1.
You and I talked about it earlier about this being a shootout between you and Allen. You have 35, he has 36, but you come out with a game 1 win.
Well, I'll take that any day. I'll take it any day.
When you're talking about playing against a superstar like that who's relentless.
Iverson, yes! You can't let him get 50-plus points in a game like this.
It was an unbelievable battle, and that's what made it iconic.
Vince and Allen were trading blows throughout.
It's one thing to say, oh no, I'm gonna bounce back and get it done, and then actually being able to go out there and do it.
He wasn't missing nothing. Everybody came to rise to the occasion.
This crowd is on its feet, and they are hysterical with what they're seeing from Vince Carter. Look up, here it's going to be Carter, 50.
In the 4th quarter, George Lynch, he was stepping out a little bit too much and went to do some of our back picks and on-ball screens. So we had to exploit it.
Jerome Williams defended nicely by Lynch.
Vince Carter in the huddle says, why don't you just go ahead and give him a hard fake, go back door. I'm gonna just lay it there for you to do what you gotta do.
Takes the ball back and puts it through. Well executed, Vince Carter to Jerome Williams.
He got posterized that day.
We played so hard. I was so proud of our guys.
Game 6 coming back, beating them at home and fans going crazy. We had the momentum, we had the confidence, and then we were looking at that game 7 like, yeah, it's about to go down in Philly.
The First Union Center in Philadelphia, where the only guarantees we'll make right now is this place will be packed and the noise will be deafening.
Game 7. Game 7, that always sticks out in my mind.
You lose a game, you win a game, you win a game, you lose a game, And then you're there at game 7 like, oh my goodness, like we can really do this. We can really win the next series.
You win this series, you move on to potentially have a chance to the finals.
It's just going to be a matter of who plays better on this given day.
As loud as it is, it's silent. You know, you just hear like loud noise and it's just so steady, you don't even hear it anymore. The intensity is there, like everybody is focused on this moment.
2 seconds to go. Toronto out of timeouts.
We got the play we wanted. We got it to the person we wanted in their hands.
Curry has it. Carter trying to get free. Carter at the buzzer. No good. And the Sixers hold on and advance to the conference finals.
Obviously, it hurt like heck to not make that shot to move on, and it just it sucked to miss that shot.
Philly took the win out of us, but it was a great series. Great series.
It was one of the best battles I've ever been in. I mean, going in playoff series after that was fun, but it's nothing like that. Nothing like that.
And nobody wants to admit that they're afraid. But I think same for you guys. You're doing something that you care. It's normal to be afraid of failure. Then I realized that I should not be afraid to admit that I'm afraid. Once you make peace with it and you talk about it, it's easier to control. It can make you train harder, and the fear that your competition is training harder than you. That's, for me, it was like my spine. It was my pride.
Elation of a city that hadn't been in the playoffs for 5 years. A lot of things needed to come together for that to work.
My best playing days was the 2 years here with the Toronto Raptors, playing with Chris Bosh, having Sam Mitchell as the coach.
We were trying to really rebuild the sport, reignite interest in the sport, and felt like we kind of hit a nice little button there where, you know, things did emerge quickly.
For us, I felt like we was the beginning of the era of transforming the energy, the expectations of the Raptors with our years here. I think that was the starting point that has continually been able to evolve this organization.
The 2014 playoffs tip off north of the border. Toronto, where the Raptors had one of their best regular seasons ever. But their postseason opponent is loaded with big names like Paul Pierce. The Nets and Raptors, Game 1.
Throughout the season, we created an environment like every home game, it was gonna be a win.
It was really cool to watch the city evolve.
We are coming, no one's gonna stop us, and we are going to be relevant, and we are gonna be taken serious, and we are gonna win. We, the North, really embodied that.
To me, it was just a fantastic, I wouldn't even call it a slogan, I would call it more of an identity.
The whole energy of the whole entire city changed.
Brooklyn was organic, and I'm so appreciative of the fans that went with it. They absorbed it. We actually feel that we can go in a fight and we can go win it.
No, that gave me juice.
I with that. I like that.
It was a long road to get to the playoffs. It was a lot of ups and downs.
It's like, we finally got here, and let's make some noise.
DeRozen with the field goal and the foul. A different guy in game 2.
That's the way to play, boy. As a young player at that time, it was a privilege to compete against the best.
We're not satisfied. We gotta go. We trying to win this series, y'all.
Yes! Let's go, Raptors!
We the North!
But that's when Jurassic Park was introduced. Everybody outside. I remember it was raining, and they still stood outside and watched it. It was unlike anything in the NBA at that time. It really gave us the motivation we needed to fight.
Sending the message to us hey, we gotta go out there and compete against these guys.
Jurassic Park.
better than 10,000 stretched out over York Street. And we welcome you inside the Air Canada Centre for Game 7. It has come down to this. One game, one moment.
Atmosphere was just phenomenal. You know, as a player, you want to play in those moments and, you know, feel that.
When you're in the playoffs and every shot is like, oh, yes! It's like really like a highs and lows. We definitely understand and feel that genuine tension and relief of every mistake, great moment, bad moment. We genuinely feel it.
Lowry going all the way to the basket, inside, 1 point game. That's a strong move. 8.8 remaining. Rose got a hand on it. Rose got it. Threw it over Pierce. It's Raptors ball.
I was like, I'll take the last shot. And that was out of place. Coach Casey drew a play. I thought we were going to win.
One possession, 6.2 to go.
We don't have the collective breath, but when the shot makes or misses, you feel that energy like, oh, you know what I mean? That's where you feel that. You don't feel that as you're going up for the shot. You feel it at the moment of like, it went in or it didn't go in.
Here is Lowry on the deck, through 2. Lowry put it up. It's blocked by Pierce, and the Nets win the series.
That was one of the plays I always relived in my head because I'll never forget that the next day we were in the locker room in college watching film. He was like, Ross, come over here. And he showed me a film where he had the ball, I think it was like in the left wing. And he had a few seconds. It was a few seconds for him to make a play. And I remember me not being in the right position. I was too high. And the way he drove, my man kind of helped and kind of provide that extra assistance, kind of get the deflection or make him take a tough shot. And I just always, that whole summer, I was just remembering like, man, if I was just like 2 feet down in the corner, man, that could have changed the whole swing of the playoffs. Man, to this day, I always think about like, what if I was just 3 feet lower in the corner?
We just came up short Game 7. That crushed us. But, you know, we gave it everything we got. And I think we all just cried about it like, man, we wanted to do it for the city of Toronto.
This group has a lot of stuff in front of them, a lot of basketball in front of them. This organization is in a good spot. They're going to be good in the future.
You guys are going to have the last lap. Keep working. Keep working.
I know before I got there was a lot of stress on like the first round's exits.
The previous years they have fell short. I think they might have got swept the year before, so it was a lot of pressure on the guys to get over that hump.
A new opportunity, new start of the season, baby. Let's go out here and leave it all out there. 48 minutes, man. Let's go out here, have fun, and let's get this win. Hashtag all day. Let's go. Win on 3. 1, 2, 3. Win.
One moment for me that really stands out, it was Game 5 in the first round against the Indiana Pacers. We went on a 12-2 run to bring the game within 2 points. We had a rookie, Norm Powell, guarding Paul George. At the 6-minute mark of the fourth quarter, he gets a steal in the passing lane, just leans into an unbelievable athletic dunk. You could feel the energy in that place.
Getting over that hump and kind of figuring out what it took to win was a good feeling. And then we moved on to Miami.
Let's be green with this. All right, let's be green.
Tougher team. They had a lot of experience. They had championship players. They had, you know, a lot of culture to them. Powell hitting a half-court shot, sending to overtime. And I just remember when he hit that shot, seeing his reaction like he was dead tired. That was another opportunity for us to say, hey, what are we gonna do? Are we gonna fight through it, or are we gonna just roll over? And we took them to like Game 7 again, won that one, and that one felt good.
To fight back and win in Game 7 against Indiana, to fight back and win in Game 7 and blow out Miami.
Man, the run to the Eastern Conference was special because I just remember how close we were with that team. Everybody wanted the same goal. Everybody wanted everybody to have individual success, and that team was special because everything we did, every single day, we did it together.
First time in franchise history conference finals. No pressure. Let's have fun and play basketball.
We made it competitive for the most part. You know, LeBron was on his run, so it was what it was, but it was definitely an experience.
Sucks that we couldn't get over that mountaintop.
We didn't get the goal done, but I remember that 6th game, even though we lost, the crowd going crazy, chanting.
Yes, they lost, but being in that arena, watching Doris interview LeBron and him shout out the fans.
First of all, do you hear this?
I do, they're incredible.
Unbelievable respect and much respect to these fans, to this country. This is unbelievable. I've never been a part of something like this in my 13-year career. This is special, and they really appreciate what their team did.
Just that moment of celebration and seeing what that run meant to the fans, that's probably, arguably a top 3 favorite moment.
Hard things are hard. Hard things are hard. To win a championship is hard. All right, it starts in summer. All right, here we go. Together on 3. 1, 2, 3. Together.
The Raptors were just scratching and clawing, just trying to keep getting better, keep trying to improve, keep trying to take cracks at it.
We were, I want to say, the top seed or the top 2 seed that year.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much you can say, man. LeBron is LeBron. Especially at that time, he was pretty much in his peak. Trying to figure out that puzzle, not too many ways to stop him. He had really good hope.
It was frustrating because you knew you were going to have to get through him, whether it was the first round, the second round of the conference finals.
It wasn't easy. It was frustrating to go through. We put everything we had into building the program to beat him, to get him.
My first year, I was pretty naive to everything. Being young and dumb, we were overconfident, this is the year we're gonna beat them. A couple plays here and there and the same result, you know what I mean? So people see a sweep and you think you get blown out every game, but the older you get, it's not always the end result. It's kind of the small plays in between.
We just couldn't beat that muscle. Yeah. We just couldn't beat him. He's that good. I'm just being honest. Kudos to him, because he put a lot of people in that misery. I think we, as we say, we all talk about all the time, because we were in Toronto, it just was a bigger story. But he beat a lot of people a lot of times.
At some point, you play this game long enough, you're going to run into somebody.
Somebody.
You know what I mean? So
you ran into it.
Yeah, that's.
You ran into him one too many times.
It's very important to have a team, a solid team, because if something doesn't go well, it will affect you mentally and emotionally. People who got my back and people who were really there for me, because they care about me, they care about the group I was in, and we were all working together to reach a goal.
1, 2, 3, Raptors!
They established this franchise, and the run that they went on and just the sustained success, you look around the league, the Raptors were right up there with the highest number of wins during that period. You can't take away from that. And ultimately that era led to 2019 when they won the championship.
Next time on Open Gym.
The Kawhi thing kind of unfolded in Vegas during Summer League. I think it was the next day they said you need to get to Toronto. This is happening.
It was just a different feel. I don't know if it's the way Kawhi came out in training camp, the way it was ran, but it was a feel of this could be something special.
Lowry, DeMar, and the building can feel it.
It's really hard, man, to win the NBA title. It's really, really hard, man. You gotta have some great health. You gotta have some fortunate bounce or two, and you just gotta keep really fighting, because it's a 2 months of grueling sport.